Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirviknam Guru Me Deva Sarvagadyeshu Sarvada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Manojavam Marutatuल्य Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Vadatmajam Vanarayudamukyam Shri Ramadutam Shirasa Namami Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Pranams to our parents, pranams to Samasta Sadgurus, pranams to the Lord, pranams to all of you. Hari Om. Very happy Deepavali to all of you. I'm glad that we are able to do the class on a Deepavali day. We started on a Vijayadashmi day. Very auspicious, especially looking at the significance. This is another learning I'm sure most of us would know in terms of understanding the significance or the meaning behind the various festivals which we celebrate, which are prescribed to us as per our tradition, and of course the variations which we see within that in different parts of India itself. And Deepavali, of course, holds a very big significance in terms of study of the Shastras, because this study is about, or any study is about removing ignorance. Because as human beings, we do not want to be seen as an ignorant person. We cannot accept it. So therefore, anything which we do, even just asking a question, trying to find the answer or searching for an answer, is always to move from tamas to jyoti, from ignorance to knowledge. So therefore, as the sloka says, tamasoma jyotirgamaya. And then it continues saying, mrityorma amritam gamaya. So we will see when we discuss more about Srishti, about life through the Bhagavad Gita, what does that exactly mean? Mrityu means death, moving to Amritam, to have immortality. What exactly does that mean? Through knowledge, how can we attain immortality? So on this wonderful day, praying once again for this opportunity to be continued for all of us, so that all of us are benefited and the entire society and the world is also benefited. The last two sessions, we discussed about the goals and then about the method to achieve those goals, who is going to help us achieve those goals. So we looked at Shastras, the various classification or the various texts which are there, a brief about what those texts indicate and what is the purpose of those texts. To some extent, we saw those. There were a couple of questions. I'll just address them quickly before going into the next topic today. So the first question which was asked, which Shekharji had put in the group, is about when we do the karmas, we are depending upon somebody else, an acharya, to do it on our behalf or tell us what to do and how to do. Now, how do we ensure? What is the guarantee that we are getting the right guidance? And due to some reason, if you're not getting that guidance properly, if there is a result due to omissions and commissions, who is accountable for that? Where does that result accrue to? To whom does it accrue? Because for every karma, there is a phalam. For every action, there is a result. Whether we see it immediately, whether we accept it or not, anything which we do or anybody else does, there is a result. And by nature, that result has to be accounted against a particular person. Right? There is a samashti account also. We will see that when we discuss in detail, but in simple terms. So the first point to understand is that the aspect of Shraddha. We will see that again in detail. There is an aspect which we have to cultivate, which we have to enhance, which is known as Shraddha. The word Shraddham also comes from Shraddha in terms of having an open mind. Even when all of us are learning this, we have all come here together with an open mind. All of us know a lot of things, but we still have the open mind to, to find more, to study something new, to listen to somebody else's talk, because we have an open mind to say that, there could be something else which I do not know now. Let me listen. Again, it's not about blind faith. Shraddha does not mean blind faith. Shraddha does not mean surrendering our capacity to think, capacity to analyze, and just following somebody blindly. Shraddha means, there could be a different solution. There could be a different possibility which is there as an answer to the questions, for the questions which I am seeking. So therefore, when we are seeking, it is not necessary that we get all the answers in one place. It is not necessary that we are getting the right guidance all the time. It is for us to analyze that. However, the intent with which we are approaching this matters a lot. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Now, as we said in the Shastras also. So, if we go with the right attitude, with the right intent, our prayers are towards the right intent for ourselves and the society, Bhagavan himself will say in the Bhagavad Gita that you will get the right person to guide you. You will get the right person. So therefore, there is no 100% guarantee which we can say that this is the qualification of the person, this is the CV, these are the certifications. Therefore, we are getting the guidance 100% in the right manner. So all our action in terms of prayers and rituals which we do is also towards praying for the right guidance to be given to us. As he mentioned, about the attitude towards ritual, if we have the intent, the world, the environment around us will give us that opportunity. In terms of time, in terms of resource, in terms of people, it will come to us automatically with the right intent and the continued prayers which we have. However, we see that, as Shekhar asked in the other question also, in terms of telling that, yes, rituals have been cut down. We have seen that. Again, with what purpose is it being done? Again, I would say that the user, the consumer also has a responsibility towards that. If we say that, no, we want it in the right traditional way, we want to do the full methodology to be followed, irrespective of whether it is going to take 5 hours or 2 days or 5 days, then we will get the right people to help us do that. So it is both ways. Yes, to some extent, we can see those who are really commercial or money-minded in terms of teaching these shastras, or even conducting the rituals, or even astrologers. But we will see that, when you come to the karma part of it, Even today, we'll see in Varna Ashrama Vyavastha in terms of the dharma part of it, as to how these things have to be done. We will find that the moment it becomes commercial, the intent is changed, and therefore the result of that, or the effectiveness of that also gets altered. It gets distorted, right? So therefore, from our side, what we can do is that, yes, do I have the intent to do it? Am I praying for that? And therefore, we have to continue that path to ensure that we get the right guidance. The second question was about smritis, about manusmriti, about set of instructions in our daily activities. Is this relevant in current lifestyle? Who has defined that lifestyle? Right? So there is a lifestyle which is prescribed to us. I have deviated from that, right? Or today, maybe I don't even realize whether I have deviated. To some extent, I realize that I have deviated. And then I'm trying to fit in my deviated lifestyle to a prescription, which is not possible, right? So we will see again, coming, maybe we are jumping the class today, but we will see that, yes, there is a Desha Dharma, there is a Kala Dharma, there is a Kula Dharma. So Kala Dharma is there. With changing times, also there are changes which are prescribed. There are changes which are prescribed. If you're in a certain country, I cannot say I'm an Indian, therefore I'll follow Indian law in this particular country where I am a resident. I have to follow the laws of this particular country. I'm working in a particular organization. I cannot say that, sorry, this is the way I did it in my previous organization. I have to follow the code of conduct and the rules prescribed for that particular organization. But at the core, I am a human being. I have a certain dharma to be performed. I have certain fixed duties which does not change with desha or kala. So if I have deviated from that, I cannot go back and say, do I have an answer in Manusmriti for this? I will not find that. Right? So we will see a little bit more in today's session. The other question was about compliance or Satya Yuga, 70% with respect to yajnas, Treta Yuga, 40%. So 40% in Dwapara Yuga. And therefore, what is it? What is the right thing? So we give, or sometimes we get all these guidances. Most of the time, it is because a particular dispensation has been given, or an exemption has been given in a particular situation to a particular person. Our convenient mind, we take that particular exemption and say, oh, this exemption was granted, without looking the conditions under which those exemptions were granted, and extrapolate to ourselves for our convenience. This is what happens most of the time. That's why we have to be extremely cautious about the guidance which we give. Even with children, it happens, right? They will quote us, telling that, no, you agreed to somebody else, or you agreed to my brother or sister about this one, therefore I am following this, or you did this. Correct? So the same thing continues. As human beings, our mind is always towards the easy path, the path of least resistance. So we should not fall a trap to that. But yes, there are certain guidance, as you rightly said. It is said that yes, in Kali Yuga, what is required more is Nama Sankirtanam. It is, we have to be very careful. What is, the guidance says that what is required more. It doesn't say that do only Nama Sankirtanam and you'll attain. Yes, for certain people that prescription has been given. When we looked at Shastras, they said because there's an inclination of a person, right? A sports person starting, the coach will give different exercises to different people, because based on their current situation. For one person, he'll say that no, for the next 1 month, you have to run 100 laps. It is their preparatory part. It doesn't mean that running 100 laps around that the whole the track is going to help them make them win. To another person, they will say that no, you have to change your diet. Correct? That is only a preparatory part. So again, in short, Nama Sankirtanam, because in Kali Yuga we will see the kind of deterioration which has happened, which is happening. You say, as a basic preparation, do Nama Sankirtanam. It is not exclusivity, or we are not granted telling that do only this one, therefore you will attain. It is only a preparatory path, which is an easy path which can be followed in today's Kali Yuga. But again, many of us, we tend to extend it in terms of telling that this guru told this, therefore I am dumping everything else because there's more effort involved, there's more pain involved. I don't see the result immediately, therefore I will follow this. So again, we should not fall a trap to that. And again, so the whole purpose is in terms of understanding what is the core, what am I supposed to do? Do we have answers to that? And if we have the right intent, I'm sure we will be able to do it in the right way. So just to add to that, for any yajna, so since Shekharji also asked about yajnas, there are three kind of shuddhis which are important when we are doing yajna. One is called Dravya Shuddhi. Dravya means all the samagri, the materials which we are using. So even in a puja, you will find that yes, we sprinkle water, right? First we invoke the all the tirthams into the water, all the sacred rivers, Gange, Yamune, Cheva, Godavari, Saraswati. Then sprinkle that water, right? It is water from the municipality. How is it that this water is getting that capability? So we are invoking that water, purifying the water first, then purifying all the samagris. Yes, there is a physical purity, but there is a spiritual purity which we do, all the samagris. So that is Dravya Shuddhi. But it also involves how these dravyas have been acquired, from where from it has come, was it done in a sattvic manner? All those things matter. But to some extent, we have that shraddha and that bhavana is there in terms of purifying them. Right? Literally, it is said that you're not supposed to pluck the flowers from the plant, because that is also life. We are only supposed to take the flower which the plant willingly offers us, which falls. Even for fruits also it is the same. But today, is it followed that way? 100%, it is not being followed that way. So Dravya Shuddhi. Next is Thala Shuddhi. The place of doing the yajna matters a lot. So wherever it is being done, you will see the extent of purification which is done, sanctity which has to be maintained before and during the yajna and after the yajna. A lot of restrictions are done, including who can enter, who should not enter, what can be done, should not be done. We do Maharudram, in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. We are not even supposed to drink water inside the Yajnashala. 4 hours, continuous. We are not even supposed to get up, because there is a Shuddhi which has to be maintained. So Sthala Shuddhi, are we guaranteed? We are sitting in an apartment in, say, the 10th floor. Do we know what kind of a place this was? What kind of thing? Yes, again, we go with Shraddha for our own house. We look at a little bit of Vastu, etc., etc. We do some puja every day. We have a puja room. We maintain that. But that entire place, and we are doing a yajna there, is it guaranteed? No. So Sthala Shuddhi is extremely important. The third one is Atma Shuddhi. In terms of my own purity at the level of the mind. How pure am I? So there, of course, we do an Atma Puja, etc. So again, that comes from our daily habits, our daily rituals, our practices. the Atma Shuddhi has to come from that. So only if these three are ensured, the Dravya Shuddhi, Sthala Shuddhi and Atma Shuddhi, we will get the result as prescribed. Just like in medicine, right? The doctor is given a prescription, but he says, do not do this, do not eat this, do not do this. But we don't follow it 100%. We don't follow the timing. We don't follow the dosage. Will we get the result as prescribed for that medicine for us? We may not. So therefore, to the extent possible, how do we continue to do what we are supposed to do is what we need to look at. Right? I'm sure more questions will come, questions should come, and we should always strive to find the answers. So let us get into the today's subject. This subject is a bit exhaustive. It will not get completed in 1 week, in today's 1 hour. Let's see how much we can discuss today. So we looked at goals. We looked at Shastras, which is going to help us achieve those goals, which is helping me to achieve those goals. But for every action which we do, there has to be a framework. There has to be rules and regulations. There has to be a framework which is given to me. My goal is to go from point A to point B. I will find what is the best way, what is cost effective, how does it fit into my schedule, etc., etc. And therefore, somebody is helping me. I go to somebody who is helping me to get the ticket. It's a totally new place. So what are the rules and regulations there? What visa is required? What are the other insurance requirements, etc.? So there is a framework. Yes, my goal is just going from point A to point B. I cannot say, let me just fly. You have a valid passport. So the main goal is going from point A to point B. But to achieve that, so that there is a proper order which is maintained, even driving on the road, there are rules and regulations. I have to get a driving license for myself. It has to be valid. I have to get my car which has got a valid registration. It has to have a fitness certificate. And once on the road, I have to follow the speed limits. I have to follow the lane discipline. Why? Because I am not the only user of that particular facility. There are other users on the road. So therefore, there is a framework which is given, even including deterrents like fines or cameras, speed cameras, etc., etc., to ensure that I am forced to follow that particular framework. For whose benefit? Wearing a seat belt. If you don't follow, yes, you will get a fine. Now, for whose benefit is the seat belt? We analyze it is for my benefit, which is being given. Then why is the state bothered about it? Because if I don't follow it, I can get hurt, which can ultimately affect the society. Right? So therefore, it is for my own benefit, plus the benefit of the other users, which is the society which is there. So as much as I can say, it is my goal, let me do the way I want, sorry, we cannot do that. Right? Therefore, my goals are there. I've got the Shastras who's telling me how to do that. But then the process in terms of how to do it, what to do, when to do, what not to do, is the framework which is given to us under the complete section of Varna Vyavastha and Ashrama Vyavastha. There's two concepts which we have to understand. So the Varna scheme is meant for the maintenance of the social order and the social progress which is there. Because ultimately, as much as I want to achieve my goals, right? As human beings, yes, we have our goals. We are selfish to that extent. But we have to also consider, while achieving those goals, am I disrupting the social order around me? There is no harm in having goals which is for my own sake. Artha, kama, it is for me. And there is a beautiful verse in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it says that Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati. The Upanishad says, whatever you do is ultimately only for your own sake. If we analyze it, even when we say, yes, we have given this to charity, first of all, say, I have given this. The I doesn't go away. Then we want it to be accrued. We want it to be acknowledged. Even when we say that, okay, do not mention, I am giving it anonymously. Even there, I'll say, I am giving it anonymously. Because even in giving something, I am actually alleviating my pain. We can say, yes, I am alleviating the pain of somebody else. But at the back of the mind, we say, oh, I'm going to get some punyam from this. Right? Nothing wrong with it. So therefore, I have to maintain the social order. I can be selfishly active, but at the same time ensure. So the Varna scheme is a framework which ensures that there is a social order. Today, the buzzword is about, oh, how can we protect our world? How can we protect the environment? There's so much deterioration which is happening. It's all there in our Shastras in terms of if we follow the lifestyle which is prescribed in the Shastras, we do not need an extra effort to have green initiatives. We'll come back to this. And the second one is about ashrama scheme. The ashrama scheme, the framework is for the individual. Varna scheme is for the sake of the social order, the social harmony which is there. Whereas the ashrama scheme talks about what are the stages which is going to help me achieve my goals. There also I have to follow a framework. Just like you are entering a company, yes, you got a job. There are rules which are prescribed in terms of how to perform your task, but the company is also giving a framework. How can you progress within this company? What are the things you should do in the initial years? So many years, some company will say there'll be prescribed limit. You have to work for minimum 3 years in a position before you can be eligible. Alongside, you have to do a couple of extra trainings, extra certifications, etc., right? So similarly, our Shastras also has prescribed to say that as an individual, this is the framework for you, but along with that, you follow the Varna scheme, which will ensure that you are not disrupting, you are in sync, that's completely synchronized with your family, with the society, with the world, with your environment, because you need that for you to sustain as well as for others to sustain. Now, what are these two things? So, Varna, the literal meaning is classification, right? It is a classification. Any group which we see around us, we are so many people in this group today, we can classify in so many ways. Where are you stationed? How old are you? What gender? Etc. We can classify in so many different ways. The same group can be classified. So therefore, whenever we talk about classification, it is very important to know what is the standpoint, right? If I say how many people are there in these two different classifications, the first question is that, okay, what is the basis of the classification, right? So the classification given to us is 4, which is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. This is Varna. Now, again, one of the immediate questions which jumps to our mind is that, oh, this is what is known by Jati. This is what is known as caste in our system today, right? Again, we'll say why and when did it deteriorate into a caste system, right? In the real purport is that it is a classification, a particular group or class. So as I mentioned, the first question then is that, okay, what is the basis of this classification? So there are three different bases for this classification. The first one is jati. Again, jati has been misinterpreted or loosely translated. I would also to some extent misused, abused as the caste system. Jati, again, literal meaning is that janma, as per your birth, you have been given a classification, right? So we call it Jati Brahmana, Jati Kshatriya, Jati Vaishya. Shudra actually, we'll see whether it is really as per birth or is it different. The second one is, the basis is karma. Based on your actions, we can be classified as Karma Brahmana, Karma Kshatriya, Karma Vaishya, and Karma Shudra. So this is the second basis of classification. And the third one is based on guna, or our attributes which are there, our personality which is there. So you've got Guna Brahmana, Guna Kshatriya, Guna Vaishya, and Guna Shudra. So let us now see. So now we have, we talked about 4 varnas, now 3 classification, 3 bases, and therefore we have got 12 to be analyzed. So let us look at jati by birth. Some of us are born as a Brahmana, some of us in Kshatriya Kula, some of us in Vaishya. So again, we have to wait to understand certain aspects from the Bhagavad Gita in terms of telling that why. As I mentioned in the first class, it is also always about why. Why am I born here? Why am I born in a Brahmana, as a Brahmana jati, because of which I have to do so many things? I have seen my friend who's been born as a Kshatriya or a Vaishya. For him, these are not prescribed at all. I have to go through all this pain of learning, doing, right from morning, and then a lot of festivals, a lot of rituals. Why? Who decided this as to where I am born? Right? So do we have a choice? We don't have a choice. We are already born in a particular kulam, in a particular family, as a jati Brahmana or a jati Kshatriya or a jati Vaishya. I don't have a choice. So once we are born, we are given a certain prescription in terms of telling that you have to now follow X, Y, Z. Now, is there a gradation? So there's another aspect which we have to understand. Within jati, is there a gradation in terms of telling that, okay, Kshatriya is better, or Vaishya is better, or Brahmana is better? The real answer to this is no, there is no gradation here. Because just like, again, I keep referring back to an organization, you need, do we say that the driver is less important, or the person cleaning the washrooms is less important than the CEO? No, everybody has got a place and everybody have to function in unison, in sync, to ensure that the organization achieves the goals, right? So similarly, in a society, we need people to do all the various functions. Our body, you will see that, it is again equated. We will see these references. In Purusha Suktam, it is there. Brahmanosya mukhama bahu rajinyakridaha uru tadaste yad vaisyaha padvyagam shudro ajayata. Even our body parts, class, it is given these attributes. It is in terms of the functional aspect. Doesn't mean that the feet is better than the hand or the brain is better than the legs. Not at all. Every part has got a function. So that is in terms of jati. What about next one, which is karma? So this is where, with a lot of analysis we will have to do in terms of What are we doing today? So we said there's a karma brahmana, there's a karma kshatriya, karma vaishya, karma shudra. A karma brahmana is one who does what the brahmana has been advised, prescribed to do in terms of studying and teaching and officiating. Right? So last session we analyzed, oh, the Shastras are so voluminous. What am I supposed to do? Which one am I supposed to study? Should I study everything? Right? I'm already in this world for 55 years. I did not study anything so far. What happens to me? So is it possible for all of us to study everything? No. We have got, say, lawyers in the society, doctors in the society. Today, even before going to the doctor, I'm trying to find the answers myself. Can I find all the answers? No. Can I know some basic minimum required? Yes. So that is why there is somebody who has studied it in detail, who is authorized to practice as a lawyer or a doctor. And they have to continue studying, right? They have to continue to do the research to ensure that they are able to serve the others. So a karma brahmana is the one who is supposed to be studying the scriptures much more than what a normal person would study. Teach the essence of that. Can they teach everything? Yes, they have to teach everything to somebody else so that the lineage is continued. The Veda Adhyayanam which is there. Right? But in terms of the gist of that, what we are supposed to do, answer the question, answer the doubts. And then officiating for karmas. Yes, as a grihastha, we are supposed to do certain minimum pujas. Right? We are supposed to learn that and do it ourselves. But when it comes to, say, performing the Upanayanam or officiating for a marriage, we call a priest who is learned, who is practicing, who is much more well versed in that. We wouldn't try to do it ourselves, right? It's not possible. Just for once or twice in a lifetime, we need not go and learn those entire paddhati or the sampradaya which is there to perform a function like that. So that is the real duty of a Brahmana in terms of protecting the Vedas, preserving the body of knowledge, studying them, teaching them for somebody else to carry on this tradition, and also officiating for all the other varnas, for their own varna, for their own Brahmanas, but also for those who are Jati Kshatriyas, Jati Vaishya, or Jati Shudra. They have the responsibility to officiate on their behalf, either doing pujas at their home or in temples, etc. That is a karma brahmana. Then there is karma kshatriya. What is the meaning of kshatriya? You say, oh, kshatriya is the one, again, if we look at examples from Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc., we'll find that, oh, they are born in kshatriya kula. In terms of, yes, they are in the army. So in today's world, it is about somebody who is there in terms of a function which serves the society in terms of protecting the law and order, or even in terms of state administration, etc., can be classified as a karma kshatriya. Right? Karma kshatriya. Then comes karma vaishya. So for a society to function, there has to be trade. There is somebody who's able. We are not manufacturing or getting everything what we need on a day-to-day basis, including food, clothing, etc., or constructing a house. We depend upon people who are there to get the required things for us. So somebody who is in business can be classified as a karma vaishya. Right? And then the fourth one, so who is a karma shudra? A karma shudra is somebody who is not following the first three of a karma brahmana or a karma kshatriya or a karma vaishya, but who is there in terms of supporting all the other three activities in whatever way or whatever competence they have is a karma shudra. They serve all the other three classifications in terms of their karmas. So just like in jati, we analyze, is there a gradation? As per jati, there is no gradation as per your birth. As per karma, is there a gradation? Can we say, no, a karma brahmana is much higher in terms of position or gradation or status as compared to a karma shudra? No. 100% no. So there is no gradation in terms of the karma as well. Right? The next aspect which we have to, so before coming to guna, one more aspect is that, so how do I choose this karma? Who determines this karma? Let us analyze what karma am I doing today? Again, I am doing certain karmas for the sake of my goals. Always come back to goals. I have to fulfill my artha and kama. Therefore, I have to earn money. Therefore, I have taken up a profession. Where can I classify that? Am I a karma kshatriya? Am I a karma vaishya? Or am I a karma shudra? Right? Or am I a karma brahmana? So then one doubt comes is that as a karma brahmana, am I supposed to earn money? Then how do I fulfill? The brahmana is also a grihastha, right? Can be a grihastha. They have to have money. They have to have their own goals of artha, starting from basic necessities and then into kama. Is it legitimate? Yes, 100% legitimate. So there is a guidance which is given in terms of earning money also. There is always a consideration which is there. You are performing certain duties for the sake of the society. There is a consideration which is given back to you, right? So for a brahmana, it is the dakshina which is being given. That's why, when we analyze that first question, it is very much related here in terms of a karma brahmana is not supposed to go with a rate card. Not supposed to put up the rate sheet there and telling that for this puja, this is the rate which you have to pay. The concept of dakshina to a teacher or this thing is very clear in terms of it is based on, there is no demand which can be given there. It is based on what the recipient is going to offer. So a karma brahmana survives on that dakshina. And there is again a prescribed rule there. A brahmana, you can say that, okay, so what happens, they don't get enough. The state protects them. You will find that, why, even in today's context, in today's world, there are a lot of similarities which we can take. For example, research scholars. What value are they bringing to society? Right? So they are just doing research for years together. There is a space exploration which is happening. There's this debate which still goes on. You're spending millions of dollars on that. What value does it bring to society? We don't see anything tangible immediately. Who pays for them? You say, oh, the state is paying for them. The government is paying for them. Why? Because they are capable. They have the competence to do it. Therefore, the government protects them, giving them the compensation so that they can take care of their artha and kama and dharma, and for the sake of a larger benefit, so that they're telling, hey, you are equipped to do this, you have the competence and intelligence to do it, do not worry about anything else, just go and do the research, I will take care of you. This is the basic concept of protecting the karma brahmana, which earlier used to be from the kings, where they protecting them, and in today's context, it is supposed to be the state, or it is supposed to be the society who has to take care of them, so that to know the real purpose and say that you are equipped to do this, please exclusively just continue to do this, we will take care of you. But there is another angle to this. A Brahmana who receives a dakshina, they are also supposed to perform dharma, their own dharma. In the real context purport, they are not supposed to carry over any of their earnings even to the next day. They are not supposed to carry over that and have a savings account telling that, yes, I earned more dakshina today, let me carry forward for tomorrow. When will I do that? Right? If I perform a puja and I got 5,000 rupees for that as dakshina, but today's my needs are taken care of with 2,000 rupees. When will I have the attitude of telling that I need not save that balance 3,000? Let me just give it to somebody who needs it today. If I am assured that my tomorrow will be taken care of by the society in whatever way, in terms of food, shelter, clothing, etc., is taken care of, then I will not carry forward. I need not carry forward. Right? So many times, we start blaming our current, some of the priests who say that, no, this is what is charged, etc., etc. They have to have their own savings, deposits, investments, etc. It is because the society is not assuring that. So can we blame them for this? So we are all part of that. So that's another debate. We'll come to that. Right? So Kshatriya is in terms of protecting, etc. Vaishyas is in commerce and business, and then Shudra. So how am I choosing? The basis has to come from jati. The basis of a profession, a default position, normally comes from jati, which means based on where am I born. So you'll find by default, most of the cases, you will find that a business person child, gets back into business for many reasons, for material reasons, for the kind of competence which they develop during, during their life. Then they are given that environment to experiment, to learn more about business, and then to protect the business, the family will ensure that, yes, they come back into the business. So by default, we find that because there is an inclination which is developed. First of all, I am born in that particular place because of certain reason, which we'll analyze in law of karma. And then the entire atmosphere in that particular family or society is conducive for me to do or continue the profession which my parents were doing, my forefathers were doing. We still find this, right? Most of the time, a doctor's child goes back into the same profession because they are born and brought up in that, and therefore it becomes easy for them. But today, how have I chosen my karma? It is purely based on what are my earnings, unfortunately. I'm not telling that all of us do that, but most of us, including me, we have ended up choosing our profession on what we do based on what is my earning. How much will I earn? It's not enough. Therefore, look at jobs in other places, migrate, etc. Right? But within that also, I realize that I have limitations. Based on my inclination, I'm not able to perform anything. Somebody else who is earning 10 times the salary, I cannot do that because I do not have the competence and the skills to do those. So that is one important aspect which we have to analyze when we analyze karma. The next aspect or the standpoint is guna. So we talked about guna brahmana, guna kshatriya, guna vaishya, and guna shudra. How is this classification done? It is based on our character, our attitude, our personality. Right? Now, is there a gradation in this in terms of guna? So we talked about in jati, there is no gradation. In karma, there is no gradation. But when it comes to guna, is there a gradation? The answer is yes. So the guna, ultimately, whatever we are doing, the goal, the subtle goal or the underlying goal is always to move towards being a guna brahmana. Now, what are the attributes? So if I have to say that, oh, I want to become a guna brahmana, that is one of my goal which I am adding today, I should know what is my current position. A self-appraisal, I need that appraisal in terms of somebody to tell me, oh, where am I today? Am I a guna shudra, guna vaishya, guna kshatriya? So what are the parameters to analyze that? Or how do I identify somebody who is a guna brahmana so that I can follow or learn from them or make them my role model? I need to understand that, right? I need to know. So for a guna brahmana, we can say that we have got three attributes which we say that sattva, rajas, and tamas. We have heard these terms. We say, oh, this person is sattvic, this person is rajasic or tamasic. So one of the methods to analyze, again, we'll see many goals within the main goal. A guna brahmana is one where the sattva guna is predominant, where there is more of contemplation, there is more of an attitude of harmony, where they are not always selfish, right? Whatever they do is in terms of a betterment of themselves and through them betterment of the family, betterment of the society, betterment of the world, right? So Puja Samji, he always talks about in terms of a consumer versus a contributor. We are consuming. We will consume as a human being. As long as we are alive, we will consume materials around us. We need those resources, but we have the responsibility to contribute. So if this is one of the easy checks in terms of telling that, am I contributing more than what I am consuming? In whatever way. Or am I limiting my consumption to ensure that there is harmony in all aspects, including the larger environment which is there, right? So that is a guna brahmana. A guna kshatriya is somebody where the rajoguna, rajas is predominant. For a guna brahmana, sattva guna is predominant. Are they devoid of, is a guna brahmana devoid of rajas and tamas? No. They have rajas because they also need to do certain actions. Is tamas there? Yes. Certain time of the day, time of the year, tamas will be there. But what is predominant is sattva guna for a guna brahmana. For a guna kshatriya, rajoguna is predominant. They have to be very active. Right? You can imagine somebody who's in the army, somebody who's in an administrative position. But we say that the second the guna which comes for them is sattva guna. It is the rajas which is predominant, backed by sattva guna, because whatever they are doing is not purely for a selfish goal, it is for a larger goal for the society. So we can say that they are selflessly active. They have to be active. So Rajoguna is predominant, but it is backed by Sattva Guna, and Tamoguna is very weak there, is not predominant. What about Guna Vaishya? A Guna Vaishya, in business, ultimately they say, yes, business is to earn money, right? So for a Guna Vaishya, Rajas again will be predominant, but the difference between a Kshatriya and a Vaishya is that after Rajas, it will be more Tamoguna which is there. There will be more selfish activity which is there, more for their own Artha and Kama, and less for the society. And Sattva Guna will be the third one. So Rajas more predominant, second one becomes Tamas, and the third one is Sattva. It can never be zero. And for a Shudra, a Guna Shudra is somebody where They are not clear about their goals. They're not even bothered to find out what their goals are. They will not even be selfishly active. It is tamas which is predominant. Somebody has to push them in terms of always telling to get into action. So they can even be harmful to the immediate surroundings, to the society. So that is why you will find actions. Again, I'm just referring back to Shekharji's question in terms of telling that in Kali Yuga, why Nama Sankirtana is given, is to shake us from that tamas. All of us have got certain percentage of Shudra Guna in us. Given a choice, yes, I would have slept till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Right? So why is it that certain things are prescribed for certain people, for certain section, telling that at least get some activity, at least do it for your own sake, at least be selfishly active to get rid of the tamas, right? And therefore, so then the hope or the prayer is that, okay, at least when this person starts getting selfishly active, there will be a stage when they will start asking these questions. Therefore, they will come to a stage of looking at the dharma goal also, right? So that is, we looked at Guna Brahmana, Guna Kshatriya, Guna Vaishya, and Guna Shudra. So the whole goal, we are able to analyze and do an appraisal of where we are today. One of the primary goals, we will find that it is to move towards, let me progress from Guna Shudra to at least to a Guna Vaishya, then to a Guna Kshatriya, and then to a Guna Brahmana. All the sadhanas which are given, all the prescription of festivals, rituals, whatever is given to us is in fact to help us move from being a Guna Shudra to ultimately being a Guna Brahmana. Because there is gradation, because a Guna Brahmana is in a higher position as compared to a Guna Shudra. Now, can we be 100% a good Brahmana, 100% Shudra, 100% Kshatriya, 100% Vaishya? So from the different standpoints, again, as I mentioned, from different standpoints, we'll find that as a jati, I am one particular varna, as karma, I am another one, and as a guna, I am a different one. Right? Should I be concerned about my jati or karma? Right? Things which I cannot change. If I accept the gradation which is there, or gradation which is not there as per jati and karma, I need not worry about that. I should be worried, I should be bothered, I should be concerned to direct my goals, to fine-tune my goals to ensure that I am moving from a Guna Shudra to a Guna Brahmana. I will stop here. We have not discussed Asrama Vyavastha, so that is also an elaborate topic. We will do that in the next week. So, any questions today? Any thoughts? Asmiti, I request you for your comments. Yeah, there's so many things which we discussed today.
Hari Om. Regarding this question which is raised, am I audible? Regarding the question which was raised, when we conduct any puja by Purohit or Acharya. Now here, let me tell you something. You have A-class car, you have A-class house, A-class microwave, A-class fridge, A-class hundreds of saris, A-class dresses. Why not have A-class Pandit, A-class Acharya? Everything is A-class. Why the rituals are C-class or D-class? My request to all of you is, when you improve your standard, when we improve our standard, generally I found Everywhere our standard is improved, but we conduct any puja by Purohit, our standards remain the same. It also to increase. Like, I'll give one example. When you do Shraddham, an offering to the person who has come to take food, you have a Shraddham of your father. What you will give to that person? Are you giving to that person or you're giving to your father? If you're giving to your father, then you should have attitude of giving to your father the best you can afford. You give the father the best dhoti, what your father used to wear. Not you will, we should not go and find out the cheapest dhoti in town and give it to that Brahmin. That fellow has come as is a conduit. But you are ultimately, we are ultimately giving to our father. So rituals, we have to maintain our standard. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Asmiji. Yes, Ishwarji, you have some questions.
Namaskar, Hari Om. I mean, this is not just contradicting to what Mr. Asmiji had referred, but then what happens in reality is sometimes when the abuse happens just in front of you, you want to give the best. Absolutely, we wanted to give the best, and we will go even out of our limitation to do the best. But when the abuse happens just in front of you, like, they accept the things, and probably they're going to the nearest, supermarket or hypermarket and selling in front of you the materials, whatever that we wanted to offer them. That is very hurting at times. So probably that is one of the reasons why, people are losing the entire faith itself to get into the, A class or B class or C, D classification. We can put n number of classifications for the Pandits or Purohits, and that the sanctity, it is getting lost because people are compromising on values. I think the value system has to be respected, especially when it comes to people have to realize that materiality is not the only thing. There is something beyond materiality that we need to look into, and that is where the faith is getting eroded. And this is my opinion.
Good, very good point, very good observation. Yes, we will continue to see this contradictions which are there, challenges which are there. It is not an easy thing. It is not an easy thing. One of the simplest things I'll tell you is that giving the dhoti. There is a certain time frame or a point of time during the ritual when the dhoti is given to them, and they are supposed to wear it. Right? Many times this shortcut is done that, because the performer sometimes say that, no, I have only 1 hour time, please finish it off in that. So it has to start from us. It has to start from us. Can we change 100% of what is happening around us? Maybe not. Can I make a beginning? Yes, definitely we can make a beginning. If my goal is clear, my intention is very clear, I say that let it take 4 hours or 5 hours. Please do it the way it is. How can I ensure? Ask. Starting from our parents, our uncles, aunts, who are around us, who are elders. Ask them. Many of them have stopped giving advice because nobody is there to listen. Nobody is there. Even if they listen, there's nobody to follow. So they have stopped giving advice. Right? We see the state of affairs. So at least if we make a beginning, if our intention is very clear, I am not going to compromise on the time factor nor on the money factor. I am ready to do it. We can make a difference. We can make a beginning. Right? So if we insist that no, let it take 4 hours, the Brahmana, the dhoti is given, let them go, wear it and come, and then do it in the proper way. That's one beginning, I would say. Hari Om. Any other questions? Shekharji, were your questions answered, which we discussed in the beginning? I'm sure 100% may not be, but at least in terms of a direction.
Yes, Krishnan.
Yes, Mr. Vansar.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you very much for a nice class explaining about this Varna classification in so detail. My greetings to all for Diwali. Just like say regarding this Karma Brahmana, about the Dakshina and about the rate cards. Of course, you explained nicely. But the thing is that, in terms of Shraddha, like we offer, very little. The rate could be 20 years old and same continue. And, then some might be just, go that little bit what they can survive. So even the sometimes states, because of the different, issues, and even they're willing, they cannot do that, So this becomes really, a difficult situation. Hari Om.
Yes, yes, you're absolutely right. Practically, there are so many things which has changed, but sometimes when I go and analyze, go and meet people, go and meet into say the interior of some of these places. I am from Kerala, so to the extent possible, I go and meet people in the Veda Padashalas, etc. You will find that many of these traditions are still preserved. There are families who are following it 100%. Where even Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, the Upanayana is done as per the prescription. It is not only for a Jati Brahmana that Upanayana and the Janayu is prescribed. It is for everybody. That's why I stopped in terms of the Shudra. We'll come back to that. The Shudra is somebody who is not following what he is supposed to do, is also classified as a Shudra. Right? If you're not following what we are supposed to do, so we become Shudras for that particular aspect also. So that is one encouraging part in terms of, like yesterday, we were having a discussion telling that, oh, Sanatana Dharma is deteriorating. No. The name itself says that it is Sanatan. It cannot deteriorate, it cannot go away. We may not realize, we may not see it, because my perception of this world is limited based on what I hear, what I see, what I want to see. There are so many things which are happening all around the world, not just in India. India also, you go deeper into villages, etc. Many of these things are followed to the core even today. To the core. To the extent that I have a friend, who was in Dubai, who went back to Kerala and started, he went through all the samskaras, including Aupasanam, including Agni, and taken a vow that he will not travel outside of his city now. He's a professional, a qualified professional who was working in Dubai for so many years. His son he has put back into the Veda Patashala along with homeschooling. So is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Do we have the intent and the courage to do it? So yes, we will still find the compromise of values which are there. To the extent possible, yes, if we have the intent to change it, that's why I mentioned that we are always teachers, a teacher to 100 people around us. Everybody is watching us, similar to the way we are watching others. So if we make a difference, even if it is small, it creates an impact. Positive and negative, both of them will create an impact. Hari Om. This is a topic which will evoke a lot of questions. A lot of questions should be there. I would really encourage. So please post the questions in the group. We'll definitely discuss that. The whole purpose of this class and discussion is not to just adhere to a syllabus and say, yes, we have completed the syllabus. The whole purpose is that is there a return on investment is there. We have to be selfish. Yes, here we are investing our time. What is the benefit for me? Am I learned something? Can it be applied in today's world? Is it just a theoretical knowledge? Yes, there is certain theoretical knowledge is involved. So we will continue this. So once again, happy Diwali to all. Best wishes, all prosperity, all knowledge. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hari Om.